All righty, what is going on, ladies and gents? Welcome back to the channel for another market update. Hope everybody had a lovely day. And with that being said, let's dive into the TA. All right, guys, we're going to kick things off today with Mr. VIX over here. We have been watching this 22 spot for quite some time now. We're waiting for it to get under there, and that is when we were finally going to, be safe to rally over here. We also wanted to see the 21 EMA loss. We have now gotten that close underneath the 21. I'm just going to point out, it's not going to be picture perfect, but, in past circumstances over here, once you lose it over here, you get a few days underneath it at least. Once you lose it, you get a few days underneath it before you come and test it, and then we'll see what happens after that, okay? Oh, you lost it, you get a few days underneath it. You lost it right here, you get a few days underneath it. Lost it, you get a few days. So I'm just saying, I think the market is good to rally for, we're going to say into FOMC. We have FOMC, the rate decision, as well as the presser on Wednesday. All right, so that will be at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and then 2:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the presser. We don't know exactly what we're going to get there, but I do think things are safe into that event. And I also am going to point out we still haven't tested that 200 DMA over here on SPY or QQQ, so I do think we're at least going to continue rallying into there. So we can test that, and at least over here we're going to have the 21 EMA sitting up there. All right, but 580 to 586, that's where I was really looking for on this bounce at least. I'm not sure if we're going to get up there, but I'll definitely say what I just pointed out over there on VIX. We have a few days that we are likely going to be continuing this bounce. All right, on the upside over here on SPY above 567.89, you have 572.30. That's going to be where you have the 200 daily moving average. And then above there, you have 577.39, and that is where the 21 EMA is going to come into play. Above there, you have your 580.91 to 586.12 supply zone with the 0.618 sitting right above there. Not saying we're getting up here, but this is where you're going to be expecting sellers. This area between 590 and 580. That is where we expect sellers. We could just stall out here at the 200 DMA. Probably not going to happen. I think it's probably going to be like this over there. All right, you lost it, and then you can recover it some. Or it's going to, at least be over there where we just, don't just continue higher after that. And we're going to, slightly get above there, maybe come test the 21. And if we just put on something else here, you guys are going to see, oh, golden pocket test. Okay. So that if it's going to be picture perfect this time around, that would be a test of 588.75. That is the 0.618 fib. Downside support. You're watching 564.02. All right, those are your little breakout level right over here that brought today's move. And underneath there, guys, you have 562.35. That is today's low. If you take out today's low, expect you to start coming back down here. We're testing 559.11 and 554.87. That is SPY coming over here to QQQ on the upside as resistance. Right here, closed right on the daily 9 EMA, 200. Not DMA, the 9 EMA exponential moving average, and then you have the 200 daily moving average sitting right above around our 494.49 resistance. On the upside, 483.97, 487.74. Above there, we're watching the 200 DMA, which is going to come in right around 494.49 resistance. Expect sellers in this 494.49 to 503.52 zone. I'm not sure if we get through. If we do, we're coming up to the 0.618 fib. But that is definitely going to be, where you have the 21 EMA come into play, where you have the 200 come into play. So it's going to be a big area right here. Expect rejection. On the downside is your support. You have 481.06 as your little breakout level today that led to that move. Underneath there, 476.28 and then 470.83. Same as SPY, guys. If you get back today's candle, if you get underneath there over the coming days, you're probably going lower. So, key over there, 477.80. Lose that tomorrow. I do think we're going to continue this rally tomorrow because of what I pointed out on VIX at the beginning of the video. Probably for the next 1 to 2 days into that FOMC event. We're going to have to see if, this thing saves the market or if it's going to tank the market again. We have no idea, but it will be doing one or the other, that FOMC event. So we will have to be patient and wait for our Wednesday fireworks in either direction. We will see. Coming over here to to IWM, guys. It's the second day you're getting this bounce from the zone over here. You're above the daily 9. I think you're probably going to start pushing up here to 208.84, which is going to be where you have the 21 EMA. Get above there, 213.97, but baby steps. We take it one step at a time over here. Got to get above here and get your daily close above the 21 EMA there to then eventually push, okay? Because we're expecting rejection here. That's just what you do at these short-term moving averages. It is what it is. All right, just like you came down into it over here. Oh, you got a little dead cat bounce. All right, you came back over, you got a big bounce. You expect your reactions at the short-term moving averages. Okay. DIA, how are we looking? You're right at the 200 sitting right there. Honestly, I don't trade this guy. But you're literally just going to be watching up here towards the 21. You're on the 9. You're on the 200 DMA right now. You're at the previous low. You could stall out here if the other indices are going to bounce, so you're not going to stall out here. Next level you are watching over here is 423.85. Above there, watch that white line, the 21 EMA, and then you have 431.42, which is a big spot. All right, so those are the indices. Let's come over here down to the Mag 7 stocks. Apple, all right. Had me in the first half. All right. And then you recovered by the end of the day. This is the only one last week that didn't close out with a doji or a hammer candlestick on the weekly candle. That is probably going to suggest you are going to continue seeing weakness over here out of Apple. All right. I do think you're going to get this bounce. You're going to test this red line right there, the 200, maybe 230. And I think you would just go lower after that. All right. But, you know, again, baby steps. First thing you got to do is test where you just broke down from, which is 219.38. You're going to have the 9 EMA sitting right over there. Get above there. We're talking up here to 225, 230. Tessie, a little Tesla. I'm just going to say right now, bearish float today on Tesla. I don't, think this should be a focus right now. I really don't. I know you have this, pretty sick, nasty looking dragonfly doji hammer candlestick, whatever you want to call it. You got a nice lower wick going on here. You gap down to start the week. You gap down into that wick to start the week. I'm definitely going to say this thing has had the weakness. All right. I'm not going to call it a lagger on, any sort of route. Like, market was still moving. It wasn't just straight falling when we were up here. Tesla was weak over here, and it did end up, really showing over here when the market decided to free fall. Because of this, guys, we have the 200 sitting right here. I do think it's probably going to get tested. I think we're probably going to come up here 271. You got to get over 251.84. If you can't get over 251.84, then you're not getting up here to 271. All right. Like I said, baby steps underneath 230.260. Really nothing until you come all the way back down to the lows, 217.02, and then you're coming down to hit that 0.786 fib. Which is at, 214. That's going to be sitting right here on your support. Right there. 212.11 support. That is Tesla. But, I really would not make this the focus right now. I would not. Like on this, balance that we're going to, have next 1 to 2 weeks, I would not be focused on. There's just no reason to. Like, let it bounce. If it bounces, it bounces, but it's not something you should be throwing any new money into. No financial advice will be given on this channel, just my opinion. All right. We'll say China stocks. Those are the ones that are hot right now. Those are the ones that are, I would say, you have the best bet over there on upside. And I will go over those at the end of the video. We'll have some trade ideas for you, or at least some hot stocks that I am paying attention to / trading. Those are at the end of each video. And if you are new here, welcome aboard. Welcome to our community over here. Hit that subscribe button and the bell notification so you can get notified when we put out these videos every day. Every day we go over the indices, expected price action, our levels that we're paying attention to. So, we have our map for the next day. And then we go over the Mag 7 stocks, the semiconductors, Bitcoin stocks. And at the end of each video, we have those trade ideas or, throughout the week, stocks that I'm paying attention to. And in the weekly update, I hit you with the trade ideas going into the following week. All right. Meta over here, guys, you have this trend line you're paying attention to. You got this downtrend. It aligns pretty much perfect with that 9 EMA here. If you pop above 620.50, expect you to start popping up to 638.40. I mean, you could see the gray lines over here. All right. Trigger level for this is placed right above that 9 EMA. If you can get above there, you at least are looking for a pop up to 638.40, and then above there, 659.50, and then 675.25. I would argue this is one of the better looking guys right now, as long as you can get that pop. But we will see. Amazon. All right. I will also say bearish flow over here today on Amazon. It is not something that, I would be focusing on right now. I do like the look of it, but, at the same time, yeah, I mean, if this is the only one really getting, hammered over here with the bearish flow today underneath the 200 here, yeah, it could not, participate too well in this rally that we're, starting / about to get over here. But if you can pop above 201.20, that is when I would expect this thing's probably going to start getting up here to around 208 to 210, above 210, 215.90. But, really all comes down to you have to get back above 201 over here. All right, 201.20. If you can't, hey, it's clip. There's nothing to talk about over here. You're still just underneath your 9 EMA. This is what I was saying. Expect the reactions over here. All right, well, it's getting the reaction here. It's getting the reaction here. We'll see what happens. QQQ. How are we looking over here? Bullish divergence on the daily RSI. You're down here in the golden pocket, but you really got to break above 170.45 or this thing ain't going nowhere. Nowhere. All right, like the Spider-Man movie. You ain't going nowhere. All right. Underneath 163.24, you're just going to watch the 0.786 fib down here. That's going to align with the support at 161.12. All right. Come down here. We'll see what the overall market's doing, because if we get down there, the market's probably not going to be moving up. So we will see. But, probably do get a reaction over here. But, some of these things, guys, some of these things, you want to start getting these bounces. You really do. I mean, at least over here on the indices, you were very likely going to start bouncing in this area. It's been quite some time since you've had any relief there. It's now happening. But, after this, if those things are just like those stocks, if they don't get much of a relief rally here and they stay near the lows, so that is weakness, and they're getting ready to flush on that next leg lower. Okay. And that could be something like an Amazon over here. We're going to see what happens. You got to pop above this level. All right. And then Google over here again, you got to pop above this level. Why was SPY, up today? Why was QQQ up today? And most of the Mag 7 stocks really, weren't up today. Microsoft closed pretty much flat. Apple closed flat. Tesla down 5%. Meta down 0.5%. Amazon down 1%. Google down 0.6%. Why is this the case? That's not strength, in my personal opinion. All right. I do think this rally will continue, though, over the next 1 to 1.5 trading sessions, because we do have FOMC coming in at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard sharp on Wednesday. All right. Those are the Mag 7 stocks. Microsoft. All right. Microsoft put in an upper wick today. 358.58, or not 358, 385.58. Lose that level, and you could now come back down to the low at 376.91. Also have that bullish divergence sitting over there. Now, I don't think this thing's just going to keep falling off a cliff. You're literally at the weekly RSI at this point it's down near the lows of the 2022 bear market. Like, you had a sick rally start popping up over here. You could see you just weren't breaking this area right here. You're getting these pops. And then you finally got the pop. And then you sold it. And you came back down. And again, this is where you are right here. You're right here on the weekly RSI. This is where you started getting your buyers. So, I just keep this stuff in mind. All right. I'm not going to tell you what to think about it. But I'm definitely going to point it out that it's a little fishy that, we could be about to start a bear market, and Microsoft is kind of showing the same oversold conditions on the weekly time frame that it has for, this 10 years of data here. You haven't really gotten below where you are right now. You go slightly lower. All right, so just something to think about over there. But as far as levels go on Microsoft, guys, you're watching above 394.25. Then you can move to 480, and then 405.57 to 410.29. You got that supply zone sitting there. Semiconductors, guys, rejected the 21. All right, you get above the 9. You got to get above the 21. There's short-term moving average up there. Pop above 230.80. We're talking 237. All right. INTC, this was one showing the most strength. Okay. This is the chip guy right here. That's starting its comeback story. We talked about this in the weekly update here. I do think, fundamental turnaround story could also be paired with a turnaround story. We've had this big base that's been building out here. If you could start breaking above it, big things can happen over here. That's 2/3 of a year, all right? Break above it. Like this base went for $8. Well, the measure move is, yeah, it's going to bring you all the way up to like 35 beans. That is notable. All right. But, in the short term, expect sellers here at this 25.61 and 26.43 supply zone. You want to see two closes above this 26.43 level. You got to close above it over here. You came back to retest it the next day with the gap down, and you did not hold it. All right. You also lost the 200. Once you reclaimed, you've lost it. You found buyers off it, and then boom, 2 days later, you've lost it. You want to hold these things. This thing could be starting to turn around. We're going to keep an eye on it. Avgo. I would argue this is, the chip stock over here besides NVDA. I would say this is one of the better looking ones. Okay. It's consolidating. You got this base between the 200 and the short-term moving averages over here. It's probably going to get a pop. If you can get above 199.98, you have a straight shot up to 211.11. That's a move that can come quick. That's Avgo. SMCI. Weekly chart. Doesn't look all that bad to me. All right, you pull back into the golden pocket. You're finding buyers there. If you could break above 44.99, probably get a quick move up to 50.61. That's all I'm going to talk about over here on SMCI. If you happen to give up 38.90, give up 40.90. Next level is going to be 38.90. Get underneath there, you're probably coming back down to the low, 34.98. All right, breaking retest level right there. TSM, you got this trend line you're watching. You got to break above the trend line. I'm going to set an alert right here. I'll know when we're breaking above the trend line. But then you also have the 200 sitting right here. You have the 21 sitting right there. So, you pop above here. You could find sellers here. You could get a little pullback for a higher low. And then you could go something like that. Again, these are all going to be moving with the overall market. So I don't want to go too deep because, I don't know. I don't want to, call for things and let people down. I just don't. Because at the end of the day, none of us freaking know what happens a week from now. We just don't. For all we know, we rally into FOMC, FOMC tanks us back down. Or FOMC, we rally into FOMC, or we trade flat into FOMC, and then it gives us the pop. We have absolutely no idea how this is going to go. All right. Bitcoin. Right over here, guys. It's looking like it's trying to reclaim that 200. You've been dancing underneath it, right around it for the last week now. You want to get above it. All right, you want to get above it, and then we're watching this trend line up here. Ultimately, I want to see this trend line broken. All right, I'm going to send an alert right here, 90K. If you start pushing that alert, if that thing gets hit, you're probably starting to move up here. All right, break above trend line, break above 90.7K here. You're talking 95 to 97K in the short term. Until then, guys, you're underneath or right around the short-term moving averages, the 200 DMA. You're going to have to see this thing resolve itself. And we'll see how that goes. MSTR, this is the one I would be focusing on over here. It's showing the strength. Even though Bitcoin's not showing too much strength, do you see how this thing is setting up? It's very constructive over here. You got a big fallen wedge pattern, slowly consolidating, slowly pulling back into the 200 DMA. In the weekly time frame, you can see how sexy this thing looks. What the heck is this? 3 back-to-back, lower wicks over here. I see, a hammer candlestick, a long-legged doji, dragonfly doji over here. Not necessarily. You got the upper wick there. All right. And then a lower wick on that third candle over there, all stemming from the 200. You're also in the golden pocket. Like, these are things to take note of. If Bitcoin goes, this is the guy you want to be trading. Coin is not the one that's showing strength. Although you're sitting right above 176.38 support. And if you could pop above 199.20, I think you're probably going to get a quick move up to 222.85. Up there, you're going to have that 200 DMA. And you also have this trend line that just broke down from. You just broke this long-term uptrend. All right. Because you broke the long-term uptrend, if you get this move right here, you might get rejection. All right. Could get 222.85 to 246.37. Expect rejection to that area. You're going to have the 200 DMA. You also have the short-term weekly moving average, the weekly 21 and 9 EMAs. All right. Now I got a few trade ideas for you guys. All right. What do I think is about to be getting some pops over here? PLTR, putting the hammer candlestick off the weekly 21 EMA. All right, and I do like the little base we're building out over here on the daily time frame. If it can pop above 90.30, then I think it's probably going to have a straight shot up here to 99 bucks. All right, the other level I had on my chart over here, straight shot. We'll just call it this way, okay? Get the move above 90.30. Daily close above there likely brings within 1 to 2 trading sessions you up to 95.80. Above 95.80, we're talking 99.32. Up there, we're talking 106, which is the 0.618 fib from this whole decline. That's PLTR for you. I actually just realized we didn't go over the King NVIDIA. I had moved it. My apologies, guys. My apologies. All right. You closed out last week with a really bullish candlestick over there. And this week, you came into it above the short-term moving average over here on the daily time frame. Just a shameless plug over here to the Twitter profile. Guys, go click that link down below. You come over here and you come, put these. It's going to be right over there. It's not showing me because this is my profile. That is me. Those are my beautiful pups. Beautiful pups. Love my pups. But yeah, go check out the Twitter over there. I will be posting every day over there. And I'm shooting for 3 charts, 3 actionable charts a day. All right. And you're waiting for that break above there. You didn't get it. The video over here, pull back into, where did I talk? Pull back into 119.31 is buyable, or move up to 127.67. And then we got the VIX. All right, guys. So you knew ahead of time what you're paying attention to today. And, VIX did give us what we were looking for over there. So I do think we secured a few more days of rally here. All right. But, pull back into 119.31 is buyable over here on the video. Why? Because you have the 200 sitting right above. All right. You haven't gotten all that much of a bounce here. But now that you're reclaiming the short-term moving averages, we're probably going to get some action like this, or probably something like this. All right. Or something like this. When you come back over these things, we typically will pull back into them. That is why I was saying over here, we could be getting that pullback, and now we are. I do think that pullback is to be bought. All right. So, support over here is 119.31. All right. And then we're going to have 121.88 as your resistance. Get above 121.88. Probably going to push up to 124.44. And then you have 127.67, which is near the 0.618 fib, near the 200 DMA, and is a part of our supply zone, our big zone here that gets a lot of reactions. We are expecting sellers in this zone. So that's NVIDIA, King NVIDIA. If it drags the market up, well, of course, the market's going to go up with it. Okay. If it goes up, it's going to drag the market up. That was a better way of saying it. All right. Moving back over to trade ideas. Lunar got the daily close above 765 today. I think we're probably going to test gap resistance at 955. And yeah, that's the whole trade idea right there. LMND. Lemonade. All right. Lemonade. Got the trend line break today. You've been rejecting this bad boy for quite some time. You clear as day are getting ready for a big move. All right. We have these short-term daily moving averages. Boom, 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 boom. They're going back and forth. Price has been consolidating around them for weeks now. This thing is getting ready for a big move. I know it. You know it. Probably started today. All right. So it got the break above 36.60. If it can move above 39.77, that's when I think the move to up here at 44.53 to 48 starts up. We could see a quick move up there. This thing is really shaping up there on the daily time frame, and we could see the same exact concept over here happening on the weekly time frame. The short-term moving average, guys, when these things consolidate, when these things start coming together, that's when, a big move on a breakout can happen. We have to wait for the breakout, though. All right, and the breakout that I'm watching, 39.70, excuse me, 39.77. You can actually see this whole area is where you've been getting sellers. Right over there, okay? Right around that 39.77 level. All right, guys, star of the show today. All right, star of the show today. Baidu. All right, Baidu did end up seeing some boom, boom action today. And as we could see on the weekly time frame, we knew we were consolidating over here, getting ready for that move. I think this is a trade idea I gave to you guys in the weekly update. I definitely talked about it last week. But yeah, we got the move. All right, we got the break above 95.52 today, and it brought a straight up move to 164. So freaking quick. All right, so freaking quick. What do we also got? We got the break above 164. And I'm just going to say, guys, this thing looks like it's about to play some catch up. I'm not saying a move like this is starting up right here. But I will point out this breakout only brought us, 8% so far. All right. The breakout over here within 2 to 3 train sessions brought us 16%. I'm just saying this thing can move once it starts breaking out. It can move. And it hasn't been moving for quite some time. And if you look on the weekly time frame, yeah, this thing hasn't done anything while this guy over here has been exploding. Baidu, all right, some bullish news coming out today. Bullish fundamental news for the company coming out today. This thing has a $36 billion market cap, $33 billion market cap. All right. Bob over here, I know this is going to be the leader of China, of course. All right. The setup we've been paying attention to, we've been watching it. And, I'm just going to say right now, I think this thing is now going to 160. But yeah, Baidu over there is much smaller market cap. It can move very well. We just got to be patient on it, but we can see what likes to happen over here with China names as they start going. And I do think the China sector is getting hot right now. So that is, a focus over there. BABA, all right, alongside with Baidu over here. Above 108, it's coming to 116.25. I think crazy things can happen over here. I'm just, along for the ride. BABA over here. All right, guys, I personally added over here on the breakout today, and I think any dip into this area right here, I think is viable. I'm not saying it holds if it does, but we've been consolidating here for a very long time. By that, I mean a month. All right, just about a month, 3 weeks to 4 weeks right there. But we are now breaking out. You can clear as day see that buyers stepped in on every single one of these pullbacks over here the past 3 weeks, and we're just now getting that, breakout from that consolidation, that base breakout. And that base breakout also was in the form of the break and retest off of 125.84. Very constructive stuff we got going on over here. You also held above the short-term moving average the whole time. This thing can move up to 160 pretty quick. All right. Dips are buyable, in my opinion, over here on Bob. I think this move is just starting up here to 160 to 180. All right. And Baidu, hey, if Bob is going to be moving, you bet your ass this thing's going to be following it up with it. Much smaller market cap over here. And, from what I was seeing today, yeah, this thing's now, kind of shoving ChatGPT into the ground. Well, or open AI into the ground. All right. And, if there was all that AI hype, I'm just saying, you guys remember all that AI hype? I mean, it's still kind of here, but you remember what it was doing to things. Well, Baidu pretty much, just said, hey, we got better stuff over here and we're much less expensive. And yeah, we haven't participated in the China rally at all. This thing's probably going to play catch up. All right. I put it on your radar down here in this little, when you have a constructive base going on like this, it's pretty obvious. You just have to be patient on the moves. Same thing as Bob. It was pretty obvious what was going on. If you could break above, right over here, yeah, it was going to start really getting ready for that move. Well, you've literally been consolidating. Now that move is coming. All right. Another one, if you want to pay attention on the China theme, over here, JD. All right. So JD is one that, hey, above 47.82. I'm just going to say, you don't have, you kind of free falled over here. So, you don't have a lot of stuff over there. This is one with a bit larger market cap than what I was showing you on Baidu. I think Baidu over there is the best play right now. Baidu and Baba, that is, personally, those are the two names I think will be moving very well. All right. And then the last China name that you could be paying attention to is Futu. This thing has a $5 billion market cap. So if China wants to start moving, this thing could move a lot in one day. I'm just going to say it could get some big moves over here. It could get, you see a 50% move right here. I'm not saying it gets a 50% move, but I'm saying it can move, and it's one I'm going to keep on my radar over here. If we see the other China names go, and this thing is still just set up, this is kind of a smaller version of what I was just showing you on Baba. Break and retest. You've been consolidating for a month over here. It's getting ready for that break above 130.50. Get that break above 130.50. We're talking 150 in the short term. All right. So that is FUTU, FUT2. Next one is Uber. Next and last one is Uber over here, guys. You pull back in the form of a falling wedge, hit it with the break and retest off 69.58, and you got the golden pocket test. This thing is getting ready for a breakout from this falling wedge. If you can break, sorry if I scared you there. Got the little buzz in my, yeah, sometimes these alerts, Discord alerts ain't bad. What's terrible is when we get the stock market alerts go ding, 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 ding. It's very loud in your ear, but it gets your attention, and that's what you need. Not when I want to record my videos, though. Then it's a pain in the butt. But over here, above 73.55, we could get that move up to 76.40. And once you're up there, I doubt you're going to stop. You're probably going to start moving back up here. Now, market wasn't moving too well when this thing just decided to go vertical over here on us. I'm just saying, this thing, was a leader. I mean, I'm not going to say it led the market up because, market was moving sideways during this period, if I'm recalling correctly. But you had a big move up. It's strictly over here. It wasn't due to a market move. This is strength over here. You consolidate, you pull back in this controlled manner over here to a very, controlled spot. The 0.618 fib, breaking retest level in the form of the falling wedge. Yeah, if you see that break over 73.55, big things could start to happen again over here on Uber. We clearly had a lot of, money come into the stock over here. We're probably about to have a second wave. That's that. And, it clearly is going to sell with the market over here. It'll have that negative pressure. But what I'm pointing out is you had the strength as the market wasn't doing much. So this could have more strength than other names right now. And I do think it has a setup to have, better moves than other names right now. Just my personal opinion. Everything you hear on this channel, all personal opinion. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. I hope you guys are enjoying this crazy market we have. All right. And with that being said, guys, today is the last day. You can take advantage of 60% off using the code SP. Link is down below. But skip past that link and go hit that Twitter link and go give me a follow over there and hit the notification bell. All right. I would appreciate that. With that being said, guys, I hope you have a lovely rest of your evening, and I will catch y'all tomorrow. Peace.